so strong enough.
Hey everyone, all right, so if you were with me yesterday, you were hanging out with me, we made a beautiful beef pot roast. But for me and my husband, we always have a lot left over. And I'm gonna make something completely different out of the leftovers. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with the meat and the potatoes and the carrots that are left over. I'm gonna make a completely different meal. But the first thing that I need to do is deal with my potatoes. Now they are cooked obviously very well. They're they have a tendency to be mushy because they have been cooked. But the first thing I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put them on a piece of wax paper. I'm going to throw them in my freezer for about a half an hour, 45 minutes. And then when that's done, then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with them. So it's been about a half an hour in my potatoes. They aren't frozen, but they're not mushy like they would be from being cooked. So they're just firm enough for me to cut. And what I'm gonna do is, you probably guessed it by now, but I'm gonna make me a potato salad out of those potatoes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put my onion, and of course any of this stuff is at your discretion what you want in it. I wanted onion, celery, radishes, and I had a couple ounces of sharp cheddar cheese left over. Not really enough to make anything with, but good enough to put into a little salad. And I'm going to add 2 hard-boiled eggs. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and cut these up. I'm not going to cut them up real small because they are, soft, but I wanted them to be firm enough to where they're not going to fall apart, when I stir my salad. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to continue this. This really does make the best steakhouse potato salad. If you have leftover potatoes from your roast, try this. It's really, really good. Very tasty. You've got lots of flavor in there from your roast. And I make mine with, I'll see some of the skin came off that one, and that's absolutely fine. I'll just pull the rest of it off. If it stays on, it stays on. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But going back to what I was saying, some people like mayo. I prefer Miracle Whip. I'm going to throw, it depends on how big your salad is, how much you're going to use of these things. I'm going to use, I usually would use dill weed, but I don't have any. I have dill seed, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that in there. And I'm going to do pepper, some mustard, some garlic, and of course my dill weed, or dill seed. And that is going to be my potato salad. Okay, now that I've got all my potatoes in there, I'm just going to give them a gentle stir. And then I'm going to add my mayo, or my Miracle Whip, my mustard, my salt, my pepper, my dill seed, and my garlic. A little bit of garlic in here. Gotta grab another spoon real quick. Alrighty. You can't really measure this because it depends on how big of a bowl of potato salad that you have from your potatoes. But I'm going to start with that. A little bit of mustard in there. Just a little bit of dill seed. pepper. And I'm also going to use some celery salt. You got to kind of go easy on this stuff because it is quite strong. So I'm not going to add any other salt to it. But just very little, and taste as you kind of go along, because you may need more or you may need, but don't put so much in it that you ruin your salad. Just gently stir, because those potatoes are quite done, but they are still a little bit on the firm side from being in the freezer, so they can handle being stirred. You don't want to end up with mashed potatoes in your salad. I think that looks pretty good. I don't want to overpower everything of, you know, the taste of everything with mayo or mustard. So I think I'm going to call this good. So there is our potato salad made from our pot roast last night. And this is going to be our side dish for our main meal that I'm going to make with the leftover pot roast. If you were with me last night, I kept making the reference to is that I wanted my pot roast here to be falling apart, and I baked it until it fell apart. And this is the reason why I wanted it to fall apart. I'm going to take last night's pot roast and I'm going to turn it into a delicious barbecue, or what do they call them, sloppy joes or something, you know, whatever it is. It's absolutely fantastic. But what you're going to need for that, and again, this goes by how much meat you have and just what your tastes are. And you know, do you like more ketchup than you do brown sugar? Do you like mustard more than you like garlic? You know, it just all depends on you. But the first thing we're going to do is move our pot roast. Now you'll see that I deconstructed everything. I took the potatoes out of it, took the carrots out of it, and so this is what we're left with, is some extremely tasty shredded beef. And you might even get lucky and get a little carrot. That's a bonus. All right, so now we've got our meat in there. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it on the stove, and I wanna get it good and hot, and I wanna get it kind of boiling, because it's gonna release a lot of juice, and I wanna be able to drain some of that. I wanna be able to drain some of it so that we don't end up with watery barbecue. What I put in my homemade barbecue is ketchup, of course an onion, that's just a given. Garlic is a given. Salt and pepper are a given. I'll put a couple tablespoons of my favorite barbecue sauce, and a little bit of mustard. And this right here, if you're not familiar with this, it's really, really good. And it lasts forever. It is liquid smoke, and it's very, very potent. So when you are using that, you want to do maybe a half a teaspoon at a time. Don't dump it in there. That is something, you'll be sorry if you do, because this right here can take a dish from the next level of deliciousness to absolutely horridness if you overuse it. I didn't take you over to the stove with me this time because I'm cooking multiple things, and I just wanted to save on some time. But here is my barbecue sauce, my barbecues. They turned out beautiful. It's gorgeous. It smells amazing again. And you're probably thinking, holy crap, that's a lot of barbecue. And you know what? You're right. It is. It's a lot. But I have a plan for this. I always got a plan. Out of that one roast, one night we got the beef pot roast. Tonight we're gonna have barbecues with it. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna freeze it. And when we go to camp in the spring, I don't know if you've ever been camping, but it can be kind of a pain. You know, you're running around, you're trying to get everything set up, you're you're trying to get your camper in where it's supposed to be, or your tent up where it's supposed to be. And, before you know it, it's like 7 o'clock and y'all haven't eaten anything. Well, this is a good thing to take with you camping. You start a fire, bring a pan with you, some buns, throw it in there, put it on some hot coals. It'll heat right up, melt really, or thaw out really quickly. Throw it on some buns, and then, you know what, you can go for another 7 hours trying to put your camper or tent up. And so this, I will probably get, see, 1, 2, 3. I'll get at least 4 meals out of this one pot roast. And if there's leftovers from another barbecue from camping, I'll take what's left and I will make probably like an 8 by 10 pan of barbecue in the bottom, and then I'll put a top of cornbread on top of it, even though I'm not a fan of cornbread. Other people are in my family. So sometimes you just gotta sacrifice for them. So, and eventually this will all get used up and there won't be anything left. But you know what? I will have at least 4 to 5 meals out of this one pot roast. I almost forgot about my carrots. And what I'm gonna do with these is I'm gonna use my little 3-notch lodge, and I'm just gonna put them in here, and I'm just gonna saute them a little bit. And I think, you know what? I think they're fine, right? Just like they are. They don't need to be mashed up or made into something extravagant. I think they're fine the way they are. So I'm just gonna saute them a little bit in here, probably get a nice good char on them. And then we'll have those with our barbecue and our potato salad, and they'll be good. So I didn't want to overcook these guys too much. So I'm not gonna char them until, there's nothing left to them, because otherwise, you're just gonna have baby food. And the last time I checked, I had teeth and I like to chew. So I think I'm just gonna leave these carrots as they are. As you can see, there's not very many left. So, I wasn't gonna add a bunch of stuff to it because we've got other stuff to eat with it. So, and I like to get stuff used up. I don't like throwing food away. Groceries are expensive, and they just keep going up. So anything that I can use and repurpose into something that we can eat, and and it's very tasty, because I won't eat bland food. No, I won't do that, and I wouldn't expect anybody else to either. Now, bland doesn't mean that you don't put salt or pepper on anything, but it also doesn't mean that you got to put 6 pounds of salt on something either in order for it not to be bland. There's a balance of flavors there, and you can't have more than, if you have too much salt, then you're not going to taste the pepper, and if you have too much garlic, then you're not going to taste the onion. So it's kind of it's important to taste your food. It's important to taste your food while you're cooking, to make sure everything's okay, and that it's not going to be, sitting at the table and people are going to start spitting it out on their plate saying, oh my God, what have you done? What are you feeding me? So I don't know where you're from, but right now, where I'm from, we are in the grips of old man winter. And like much of the country is right now. And this is a very summer-oriented meal. You have your barbecue, you have your potato salad, you got some carrots, you can even put some, I don't know, what do they call those? Not pork and beans, but baked beans. Baked beans with, I think this might just be my snub to Old Man Winter. We're not even halfway through it, and I'm already done with it. But this is a really good, I really hope you guys try it, because this is really good. It helps you save money, and you can stretch it really far. It's fabulous. Reminds me of summertime. I'm not going to pick that up and eat it in front of you, because I will make a mess. So until next time, you know the drill. Go make your own food.
It's so strong.